Is Starfield getting review bombed? The user reviews are now in on Metacritic, and whilst the scores initially started out very low, they have been showing some signs of improvement as time goes on. One thing's for sure though, whichever way you feel about Starfield, it does seem to have been a fairly divisive game. Over the past few days, a lot of people have come out saying they really enjoy the game. There's quite a few people who are really, not liking the game that much at all, and a handful, it seems, of very vocal people who are extremely against the game. So much so that there's been outright calls to get people fired who are publicly supporting and playing this game. A very strange set of affairs. Let's start then with the situation over on Metacritic. Now, as we know, the game has reviewed very well with mainstream gaming press. We can see 86%, 87%, and if we look down, a lot of these are scoring 100% and 10 out of 10 or 90%, and so on and so forth. But if we come to user reviews, we can see it's currently sitting at a score of 6. Now this is for the Xbox version. This is out of 2,600 ratings. Opinions seem to be fairly divided, a lot of ones and a lot of zeros. I don't think Starfield really deserves any zeros or any ones, so this is where the question comes in as to whether or not the game has been, at least in the early hours of Metacritic, review bombed. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. If we come over onto the PC version, we can see the score is currently sitting at 5.5 as of this rating. I'm going to refresh this page actually because I opened it a few minutes ago. You can see it's actually dropped down to 5.4, so it is fluctuating up and down a little bit. So yeah, very, very mixed scores, and not at all that easy to see what's going on. Again, if we look down at the user reviews, they're saying things like very bad game, terrible game, not original, and things such as that. So it doesn't really give us any indication as to why people are really reviewing the game so poorly. Now, whichever way the scores are on Metacritic, unfortunately, it's not always a great way for measuring the sentiment towards video games. And that's largely because players or pretty much anyone can review the game without ever having owned it or without ever having played it. That's just the way Metacritic works. So if we come over onto Steam, the story is very different. Here, only verified purchasers can review the game. And we can see currently, out of 27,000 reviews, it's sitting at very positive with a score of 81%. So overall, this is pretty good and seems to be more or less in line with what we're seeing from the average on the critic score over on Metacritic. That said, if we come down to the full reviews, we can see out of 43,000 reviews, it's actually getting a score of mostly positive at 77%, so slightly down. And the reason for this is by default, Steam filters the languages. We've got 27,000 reviews here. These are all filtered by English language, spoken language only. Whereas if we take the English speaking filter away and show all languages, we see a lot more reviews and the score seems to be quite a bit lower. So this would suggest that for some reason English speaking world is reviewing the Starfield a bit more favourably than the non-English speaking world. Now for what it's worth, unfortunately I haven't been able to track down exactly why that discrepancy may be happening. I've Google translated a few of the reviews, the non-English speaking reviews, and pretty much they're just giving the generic standard reviews that we're seeing from the English-speaking reviews as well. So if anyone's got any idea what this may be about, is it a translation issue? Is it something else? Do let me know. I'd love to hear what you think about this. But all that said, regardless of your feelings towards Starfield, it's perhaps really going a little bit too far when people start calling for someone to be fired from their job just for playing the game, as happened with streamer Alana Pierce. And things perhaps started getting a little bit out of hand with this particular tweet. Alana Pierce should be fired for promoting Xbox games on a public platform like this. Extremely unprofessional and demonstrates a lack of loyalty and seriousness to a PlayStation employer. So generally speaking, I think that's a very poor take on things. As Alana said in her video, people inside PlayStation, people at Nintendo, people at pretty much any company all generally don't compete with each other in the same way the console war fans think they do. The console war doesn't exist outside the fan base. And as a testament to that, here's another tweet I'd like to take a quick look at. It's been written by the creator of the God of War series, no less. And he says, and that's Starfield. I've only completed the main quest and touched on a bit of the side stuff, so who knows, New Game Plus could destroy my sentiments, but at the moment it's the best single player game I've ever played. And again, keep in mind that is coming from the creator of God of War, which is widely considered as one of the best single player games ever made. Everything I was hoping for and more. So excited to go live and talk about it tomorrow. Thank you, Bethesda, Starfield, Xbox. This has to be a hell of a boulder to push up the hill. But you all made a damn classic, and it touched my soul. So appreciative. So yeah, very interesting tweet there that basically proves that it doesn't matter where you work or where your loyalties lie, anyone can enjoy a game on any platform. Whichever way you cut it though, Starfield does appear to have been a commercial success. Posted today, thanks to over 6 million Starfield players. It's important to point out that this isn't 6 million Starfield purchases, because Game Pass will no doubt form a big part of all of this, but nonetheless, 6 million players is a huge number. And likewise, over on Steam, we can see it's had an all-time peak of 269,000 players. Now, this is nowhere near the levels of what we saw with Baldur's Gate 3, but it's still very high numbers and likely suggests that Starfield has sold at least a few million copies outside of the Game Pass owners. Meanwhile, over on Steam charts, we can see that as of right now, Starfield is sitting at the 6th most played game there. So yeah, doing pretty well overall. But not everything is fantastic when it comes to Starfield. A lot of people are having performance issues with the game, and whilst I haven't seen any of that myself, I'm pretty confident in saying that yes, there definitely seems to be an issue somewhere. At any rate, when it comes to this particular subject, a spanner was thrown in the works by Todd Howard himself, no less, over on an interview with Bloomberg. Let's have a quick listen.
So, audience, what would you ask Todd? Big question from many. Why did you not optimize this game for PC?
We did. It's running great. It is a next-gen PC game. We really do push the technology, so you may need to upgrade your PC for this game, but it's got a lot of great stuff going on in it, and the fans are responding awesome.
Needless to say, that statement has gone down like a lead balloon with a lot of fans of the game. Regardless of whether they are actually enjoying the game or whether they aren't enjoying the game, it's not a brilliant statement from Todd Howard. Although, to be fair, the way the reporter phrased the question was also a pretty dumb question. Perhaps a better question would have been, what are you planning to do to improve the performance on Starfield on PC or even on Xbox as well in general? And Todd would have perhaps answered that question in a different way. Or then again, perhaps he would have answered it in exactly the same way, who knows. And finally, on a very quick fun note here, one thing Bethesda games have been known for over the years is their rather fun physics. Now, Starfield, I think, in some quarters has been coming in for a bit of slack when it comes to, or a bit of flack rather, when it comes to its physics. But to be honest, it seems that the physics still stand up. Here's a very quick video from YouTuber Denios showing how 10,000 milk cartons actually play out in Starfield. And do watch this full video. I'll link it in the video description. But look how all of that is actually working. You don't see this sort of physics in many games at all. Absolutely, well, stunningly good in my opinion. Brilliant stuff. And there is one other video here from the same guy who's skipped forward here, where we see a whole bunch of toilet rolls and see how the physics are working there. Pretty impressive, to say the least. I'll link both of those in the video description. Do check out that YouTube channel because there's a bunch of interesting stuff there as well. Oh, well, there was one other thing I wanted to quickly mention, and this is a poll I put up on my YouTube channel. This was only about an hour ago. As of right now, it's just got 1,700 votes or so. But the intent here was to gauge the audience sentiment towards Starfield. Now, keep in mind, obviously, this is going to be a little bit biased towards people who do enjoy space games. But that in itself is very interesting nonetheless. So, out of 1,700 viewers, we've got 45% are saying that they're playing Starfield and they like it. 1% saying that they played Starfield and don't like it. 9% saying that they've played it and feel it's a bit meh, they're not overly impressed with it. 4% of people saying they played Starfield and stopped playing, and 41% who have never played Starfield at all. So overall, that's around about 50% of people who view this channel, who responded to the poll at least, have not played Starfield. Out of the 50% that have played Starfield, 45% of them are liking it. If we round that up and put it in a percentage of 100, that means that 90% of the viewers of this channel are currently enjoying Starfield, at least for the ones who have responded to the poll. At any rate, do let me know your thoughts and feelings towards Starfield in the comment section below. What do you think about this whole situation with reviews? I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys and girls next time.